Hey, what's up, guys? It is Deibs, Mr. Crockbot on Twitter. Welcome to Party on Broad. Just me today. Thanks for joining us here today at Painted Lines YouTube channel. One of the most pathetic performances I have ever seen from the Philadelphia Eagles. A 14-point lead given up against one of the worst teams in the NFL. 37 points given up to the freaking Miami Dolphins, who were the 30th ranked offense and 5th worst defense in the NFL. Zero help from the defense, zero help from the special teams. Jake Elliott missed his first field goal of the season at the absolute worst time imaginable. Literally the first day after Howie Roseman signs him to a 5-year contract. Think about that. Is that not the most perfect summary of this 2019 season? The Eagles stopped running the ball in the first half. The defense picked off the first play of the game and didn't do a damn thing the rest of the game. Run those credits. Let's start the show.
Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh man, and being just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles! Let me get a hell yeah!
All right, guys, welcome back. Outcoached, outplayed. The Eagles haven't put together a single game on both sides of the ball all season long. The team has zero pride. Howie Roseman, are you freaking listening? There needs to be a serious conversation about needing a spring cleaning this offseason. And I'm not talking about the players here, guys. I'm talking about every single player and coach from the top. From the top. We're talking about Mike Groh. We're talking about Doug Peterson. We're talking about everybody. Scouting, personnel, medical staff, coordinators, assistant coaches. Something has to be done in the locker room right now. There is no freaking way that Doug or Howie can sugarcoat the deficiencies of this team any further. There are serious problems going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. Simply put, the Eagles lack pretty much talent at all skill positions, and Devontae Parker destroyed the Eagles again and again and again. How many yards did Devontae Parker have today? He had 7 catches for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. Every single time Devontae Parker touched the ball, it was predictable. A huge problem with the Philadelphia Eagles offense all year long has become its predictability. Everyone knows what the Eagles and Carson Wentz is going to run. And that's my problem. When we talk about predictability here, we talk about the Eagles offense because it has been an extremely predictable offense all season long. But while watching Devontae Parker, I was calling out every single play this guy was running on offense, slants, go routes. It was so predictable, yet Jim Schwartz had zero answers for this all game long. And the Dolphins had their game of the year. It was their best game of the season versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Were the Dolphins this good? Were the Eagles this bad? No, man. The Eagles are a bad team. It is now time for Philadelphia to embrace that the Philadelphia Eagles are a bad team. And we have to start with the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Let's take a gander here at the great defense played by the Eagles in the last 6 possessions of this game against the Miami Dolphins. Touchdown, 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 field goal. 23 unanswered points by the Miami Dolphins. Whether it was Fletcher Cox or Jim Schwartz, dude, the complete disappearance of the Eagles D-line in the second half is the exact reason why the Eagles lost today. Let's look at the quick stats. Derek Barnett had 1 sack and 2 tackles for losses. Vinny Curry had a sack. Fletcher Cox and Josh Sweat shared a sack. But I feel like after the first quarter in this game, there was zero quarterback pressure in this game. There was nothing in Ryan Fitzpatrick's face. He was getting whatever they wanted, especially in that second half. The defensive line, man, is the biggest, number one reason for this loss. It was absolutely pathetic. Derek Barnett did have 4 quarterback hits. Got to mention Derek Barnett. Same situation, though. getting just centimeters close to Ryan Fitzpatrick. What happens? Ryan Fitzpatrick throws a first down, and it doesn't mean anything. Yes, Derek Barnett gets there. Love you, Derek Barnett. I've been one of your biggest supporters. But, man, you got to get home. When you talk about the Eagles' defense, you have to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick here, man. 27 of 39, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception, a quarterback rating of 113.7. But that first interception came after the first freaking play of the game. This guy knew exactly what Jim Schwartz was throwing at him all game long. The fact that the Eagles gave up 351 yards of passing to the Miami Dolphins, I'm talking about everybody here. I'm talking about Jalen Mills. I'm talking about Ronald Darby. Thank you for that interception. You were trash the rest of the game. I'm talking about Sidney Jones. There were several times when Ryan Fitzpatrick disrespected the Eagles secondary, threw the ball up in the air just for a 50-50 ball, and every single time the Eagles cornerback was out of position, didn't fight for the ball every single time. And then we move on to body language, man. The defense has simply quit on this team. It doesn't take a scout. It doesn't take Baldinger. It doesn't take Ray Dittinger to figure out what is going on this Philadelphia Eagles defense. You look at the head coach, you look at the quarterback, you look at the general manager, the entire Eagles defense has completely quit on this team. Where's Fletcher Cox? Has anyone heard of Fletcher Cox? Let's move on to the offense, and you got to start with number 1, and that is Mr. Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, I'm sorry, dude, but you have zero awareness in the pocket. He has zero awareness of looking downfield. We also have to talk about how the Dolphins had the 30th ranked defense, and the Eagles had a 14-point lead. Why do you not run the ball up 14 in the third quarter? The Eagles passed the ball 75% of the time after the third quarter. They sent 2 guys into the end zone on that Hail Mary at the end of the game. What does that tell you? A, they have zero big play ability. You begin and end with Zach Ertz. What horrendous game by Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz finished the game with, let's look at it here, 3 catches for 24 yards. Oh my God. Zach Ertz had 2 huge drops today. He even tripped himself today. Zach Ertz getting beat by Eric freaking Rowe. Zach Ertz needs to stop making credit for all of these credit card commercials. Stop rushing yourself to the jug machine with your wife, man. Dude, your performance this season has been absolutely pathetic. And then we get to the running game for the Philadelphia Eagles. This game was one of the best examples of why the Philadelphia Eagles are a bad team. You're going against one of the worst teams in the NFL at stopping the run. What do? You're at 14 points in the third freaking quarter, and you don't run the ball. The Eagles, let's look at the Eagles rushing yards. Miles Sanders had 17 carries for 83 yards. Jay Ajayi had 2 carries for 9 yards. The fact that Carson Wentz in this kind of game had 46 pass attempts compared to Miles Sanders' 17 attempts and 19 overall, that's pathetic. That's coaching. That is Doug Peterson. That is Mike Rowe. The coaching is lousy, man. The execution is horrible. It's never been balanced all season long. Preparation, the focus of this team is terrible. Reality check. This is a bad football team. Stop with the stats. Don't look any further into this game. All you need to know about this Miami Dolphins versus Philadelphia Eagles matchup was the end score. One team came out prepared, the other didn't. And who was to blame for that? Doug freaking Peterson. Heads need to roll this game. I'm Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Make sure you check out all of our Eagles content on thepaintedlines.com and on Twitter at EaglesTPL. Thanks for watching, guys. Go Birds, baby. Whew.
Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh man, and being just posterized, Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a